Hey guys, what's going on? Quicxil here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a video on the best free Oculus Quest games that you can download right now. This video will have a bunch of different parts from FPS games, story games, and other games as well. If you want to check in the description below are all the chapters that you can skip through. And let's just get right into the video. Our first category will be FPS games. Starting off with our first game, Pavlov Shack. Pavlov Shack is a VR shooter that is often compared to CSGO because of its similar search and destroy gameplay style where you can buy and customize loadouts. But on top of the cool CSGO like gameplay, there is also a fun competitive scene heavily in search and destroy for this game. So if you're looking to get into a competitive VR shooter, this might be the game for you. This game might still be for you even if you don't like the competitive side of search and destroy. Regular search and destroy is still really fun, but on top of that, they also have modes like team deathmatch, tank team deathmatch, gun game, one in the chamber, and a mode that's just like murder mystery called TTT. And honestly, you've probably already seen this game on your TikTok feed before, as the popular YouTubers The Boys and a lot of other people on TikTok often post about this game with funny skits and things that happen in TTT. I myself even make a lot of videos about the funniest moments in the game, and you can see that playlist in the card in the top right, and let's get to the next game. Gun Raiders is a more cartoony game with jet boots for flying around maps and all kinds of weapons you can choose from and switch to at any time. The quick weapon system is something that makes the game special, as you can pull out any kind of weapon for any kind of scenario. Mixing game modes like capture the flag and team deathmatch with the cool futuristic movement can make the gameplay one of a kind. This game is a fun take on what a VR shooter can actually be, and since they update this game frequently, it makes it a really good game to pick up long term. Highbow is unlike any other VR shooter. Highbow is basically Hawkeye Simulator. You dash around your arena and you have to shoot your enemies with a bow and arrow. Running around the map and poning your enemies with the bow can be some of the most fun you'll ever have in VR. While this game can be fun, I've been told about this game bugging out a lot for a lot of people, especially when I made a TikTok about this game. So keep in mind that a lot of stuff frequently happens with this game bug-wise, and it might not always be the best play. Hyperdash is a title you've probably already heard of and seen on the Quest store, but this December it's actually becoming free. This game will let you ride on rails and dash around the map to get an advantage on your opponents. This gameplay can get pretty fast, and honestly it's something fresh compared to some other games that are trying to be more realistic. The game also has a soccer-like mode, which is something that you don't really see in many shooters in general. Also, please do not comment that this game is not free yet. It's free at the end of December, so keep in mind that it's not free just yet in the store. To everyone that's actually already purchased the game, the developers are giving you in-game credit for the purchase that you made a long time ago, recently, doesn't matter, you'll get in-game credit for it. Breachers VR is made by the same people that made Hyperdash Triangle Factory. Now this is a bonus game because you can only get it via side quest right now, so you do need a PC to access it, but if you have a PC you can watch this video up here and it's the full guide on how to install it. Breachers VR is considered the mix between CSGO and Rainbow Six Siege in VR, as there's the CSGO buying system to your weapons and upgrades, but you have to breach the building or defend the building depending on if you're defender or attacker. This Rainbow Six Siege like gameplay where you breach a building in VR is something that I've wanted for a while and wish I could have made myself a long time ago. This game is going to be PC VR and Quest cross-platform and is probably going to be heavily updated for the next few years to come when it releases. The devs seem really dedicated to this game and it's a lot of fun even though it's only in its early alpha stage right now. Keep in mind this game will not be free after it's on the official Quest store, and it's only in alpha right now for free testing. If this hasn't convinced you itself, I also made a video on funny moments on it that is right here. Sorry for all the plugging, but you know it's what I have to do. Our next section is horror games. First up is No Clip VR. No Clip VR is a backrooms like game where you can go around maps and you have to try to escape without getting killed by the entity. Every level has its own entity that tries to kill you, from levels that are literally the back rooms to other levels where you have to run away and open doors to find the escape or hide under tables to not get killed by party monsters. This game has a really active Discord community that you can join right now, and it does have a paid version where you can get some of the beta levels for free before they launch, so keep in mind this is something the dev has to do as the servers need to be upkept and paid for. Something really unique about this game is it's cross-platform for not only VR, but Android and iOS have the mobile version of this game that you can play with your VR friends easily. This game also has proximity chat, so you can talk to your friends depending on how close or far away you are from each other, which makes the game a lot more fun. They've also recently added a entity tag mode where you and your friends can play a game of tag while also trying to scare the holy living bad word out of each other. Once again, I'm plugging. I played this with another YouTuber called Forehead VR, and that's also in the top right corner. But seriously, this is one of the most fun games I've played this year, and especially for free, you cannot beat that. Also, if you have manual running on, it's quite the workout. By the time I was done with this game, I was disgusting, let me tell you. Crawl Space is a game that I dreaded playing and will never play for the rest of my life. Now, my Discord moderator tried forcing me to play this game, but I refused, as you have to crawl around in a tiny little space with hand movement, kind of like Gorilla Tag, pulling yourself across the crawl space. Now, baby dolls are trying to actively hunt you down, so yeah, that's why I haven't played it. This game is too scary for me, but if you like a good scare and you're not afraid of the dark, go ahead and try this game out, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. If you miss the nostalgic feeling of playing Slenderman on your old crusty iPad that you used to love to play when you were a kid, Cat VR is a perfect game for you. Now, Cat VR is literally a remake of Slender in VR. You have to run around the forest collecting all the items to escape alive, but the plot twist is, instead of Slender chasing you, it's the Cat in the Hat. Now, give or take, this could be more or less scary depending on how you feel about the Cat in the Hat chasing you in a forest. Personally, it's not that scary, but I did overhype it in another video I made. Let me plug that. This game isn't multiplayer though, which is a huge downside for a lot of people, but honestly, it's a good play nevertheless. Keep in mind, this game is really dark, so if you don't like games that are way too dark to even enjoy, this might not be the game for you. A few extra bonus games for this section. Granny is another game you can side quest onto your headset if you have a PC, and it's a nice remake of the game, and it almost feels like it does belong in VR. The other bonus for this section is FNAF's Security Breach. FNAF in VR is something that I'm pretty sure everyone enjoys more than playing it on a flat screen, and Security Breach has been ported over by a modder, and you can download it through side quest and have a lot of fun on it. I plan on playing this game, but I really dread it because I'm a little scaredy cat, I cannot lie. I'll definitely play it before Crawl Space though. Now, two games right now I'm about to talk about together, and these are tabletop games. Mash Me Up and Hangout Games are both tabletop simulators where you and your friends can play all kinds of games. Between the two, you should have a lot of fun with all your friends, especially if you guys are all picking up Quest 2s for the first time this Christmas. Now, since I'm talking about two games at once to kill two birds with one stone and save your time, you guys are gonna have to look at the Oculus store to see which one looks more fun to you, or maybe try them both and see which one has more fun for your friend group. Let me know down below if you played these or you're gonna try these, because I want to know if these are actually genuine fun for you guys, because I know I would have a lot of fun if I had more friends. Cards and Tank Cards. Now, I'm actually talking about the game this time instead of trying to put two in one. Cards and Tank Cards is basically a card game where you enter a tavern and you sit down, you get to play. It's very similar to the Hearthstone card game if you've ever played that. If not, it's fairly simple to actually pick up. Since it's similar for players that are veterans at Hearthstone, you'll probably love this game too. Now, you can make the coolest decks with all kinds of simple cards, and you can try to best your opponents in the tavern. Personally, I used to play this a little bit and it kind of phased out, but I think I might pick it back up again soon, and you know, I think it's a lot of fun personally. It's something that I would play over and over again over time. Next up is story games, and story games aren't something that I usually am into, but it's something I thought I'd share with the community, as I know a lot of people love story-driven games. Starting off with a weaker one, Mission ISS puts you on board a space shuttle where you get to complete missions while aboard the ship. Now that you get to become an astronaut and go to orbit, you can take on all kinds of tasks, and honestly, if you've ever wanted to go to space, this is the only way you're probably going to be able to, unless you're cooler than me. Probably isn't that hard. If you're picking up your quest for the first time, I'm not sure if this is a game you'll want to jump into, but if you're more daring, go ahead. The next game says join the Discord down below. Now, I think this might be a typo, but I do talk a lot of shit to all my fans in heavy quotations because they usually bully me anyways. I like to host meetups in VR games, and the more members, the more often I can do so, and I haven't done it in a while just because the community interest hasn't really been there recently, and that's something I want to build up again, as what's the point of creating content if you're not friends with your viewers? Also, since I'm doing 7 days of Quickmas, the 7 days before Christmas happens, leading to Christmas, I'm going to be giving away a few game keys on a game on the first day of Quickmas, and maybe a few things thrown in there, no promises. Anyways, let's get to the next game. No More Rainbows. When your darkness is faded away, and now suddenly everything's happy. Something that you genuinely want, but in this game, it's something that you've never really thought would happen to your darkness. This game, just like Crawl Space, has gorilla tag like hand movement where you can pull yourself across the ground, and honestly this might make it a better game, as story mode games usually are pretty basic when it comes to features like this. In this game, you need to go around the worlds and save your darkness and escape this happy wonderland that you have never wanted to be in. Also in this game, there is multiplayer features, so you can probably have fun with your best friends, unless you hate them and maybe you want to just call them smelly. Think of this as if you're a Discord moderator and you're running away from grass. The last section for you guys today is esports titles. Ultimex is basically the VR equivalent to Rocket League, but instead of driving high-powered rocket cars, you're in a gargantuan mech. If you want the full Rocket League experience in VR, but even better, Ultimex has your back with 1v1s, and if you like to go in with a partner, there's 2v2s. So you can use your teamwork on the field to make the most ultimate goals. Now this game is somewhat different from Rocket League in the sense, one, also you're in mechs and you get to do a lot more punching action, and there's also different levels to the goals that you can make points through. Last but certainly not least is Vertical Shift. Vertical Shift is a VR game where you have your Zenith suit and you can grapple, glide, and use your jetpack to transverse through the air, and it makes you feel like you're playing Echo VR meets Spider-Man. Wait a minute. Vertical Shift has game modes that will take you back to your childhood, like freeze tag, infection tag, and even keep away. Playing this game is like being on a playground, but like with jetpacks and grappling hooks and in the future, and okay, it's only kind of similar to a playground, let's be honest. Now, like I remembered midway through typing the script, Echo VR. Imagine disc golf meets zero gravity in VR. That's what Echo VR strives to be. You can transverse by shooting out of tubes and flying around with your jet hands, and you and your team can actually use teamwork to pass the disc and get it into the enemy's goal. Now, this game used to have a ranked competitive league, and I don't know if they still do that. If they do, I'll try to find out and link it in the description, but I know that this game has a heavy community, and if you want to be in a really nice solid community, this is one game to get into. This is one of the first VR games I ever played apart from Rec Room, and honestly I think it's personally an iffy game. It depends on your playstyle in VR, and surprisingly for zero gravity in VR, I didn't get that motion sick, so I take it at your own risk, I guess. So if you enjoyed my short, hopefully short list, please make sure you hit a like on this video, hit a comment, share it with your best friend, and don't subscribe yet. I want you to click this video on screen, and I'm asking you a lot here of you to give me your time like this, but if you watch the first 3 minutes of this video and you enjoy it, you probably like my content, as I usually make funny gaming VR moment videos, and sometimes I'll do reviews and videos like this to share you guys free games. And if you are picking up an Oculus Quest 2 this Christmas, you can use my referral link down below, and we'll both get store credit for free. I hope you guys have a happy holidays, and subscribe so you can see my funny 7 days of Quickness. This is a freestyle. Join the Discord, watch all the videos, click on all the links.